Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. He is Harrison Graham. Day 5 of NFL free agency is here, and the 49ers have made yet another move, and they've continued to add to their special teams unit. All-Pro George Odum going from the Indianapolis Colts to the San Francisco 49ers, according to Ian Rappaport, a 3-year, $10.95 million deal. Some incentives on top of that in terms of performance. But Harrison Graham, we're reacting to this live on NFL Daily on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. The 49ers continue to address special teams, which last year ranked 26th in the NFL. And this is a fringe starter safety who, in coming to San Francisco, this could spell the end of Jaquiski Tartt, depending on what his market is on the free agency market. Either way, Odom to the Niners as they continue to build that special teams unit under special teams coordinator Brian Schneider.
Yeah, here's what you're getting. You're getting a elite specialist, like you said, an all-pro, but a guy that can start for you as well as your safety too. Flexibility, can play some free, can play some strong. Started 7 games last year for Indianapolis. Matt Eberflus was really able to untap some of that potential in the back end of that secondary. He's now the head coach of the Bears, obviously. Had a pick, couple of pass breakups, good tackler, had 55, 6'1", 202. I think he frames out as more of a strong safety type.
Yeah.
Ideally, this is your safety 3, but like you mentioned, Chase, if Jaquiski Tartt lands elsewhere, you could probably live with Odom as your safety 2. Maybe you bring in another guy to be that safety 3. Maybe you bring in another guy of similar caliber to compete for that second safety job in this secondary. Either way, gives you some insurance for Tartt depending on what happens there, and he's going to be an elite specialist. And I like what the Niners are doing. Their biggest need on this roster was to just make the special teams unit better.
Yeah.
They've done that with some of the moves they've made in free agency.
Yeah, they had to address special teams, which was one of the worst units last year in the National Football League, but also they had to address the secondary. And I think it's really important for the Niners to really stack up some depth pieces here in that secondary, because when they started the year, the secondary was in a good spot at that cornerback position, and then some injuries happened, like to Jason Verrett. So you have to go out and sign a washed Drake Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman. Those guys weren't good. Now, you fulfill that area of need by bringing in Charvarius Ward, who we'll talk about a little bit more here coming up. So you address cornerback. He can be your number 1 at $14 million average annual value. I like the value. You bring back Emmanuel Mosley. He really had a stellar season this past year. Ambry Thomas is your cornerback 3. And let's say that Jaquiski Tartt goes somewhere else. And I thought he had the best year of his career this past year. You can fill that void with the combination of maybe Odom, maybe Talanoa Hufanga, who blew a lot of people away as a special teamer, linebacker, and safety last year as a rookie. But I do think that the Niners could still bring back Jaquiski Tartt, because I don't think he's going to demand that much money on the open market. The figures here are pretty interesting, though. Kind of like Oren Burks, as well as Ray McLeod. The Niners have been paying anywhere between $3 and $5 million per year for some of these special teams players. That goes to show you their team philosophy behind what they're doing with some of these moves. Grade the move for us in the comment section, Niner Gang, as we're also live on the 49ers Report. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think about Odom to the Niners? Let us know in the comment section, and do that right now. Harrison, what do you think about the signing? I know you said you kind of liked it.
Yeah, I like it because it helps fill your need on special teams. I think the Niners want a top 10 special teams unit. It's been bottom 10 the last couple of years. Robbie Gould's been good at kicker, but returning coverage units, that's got to improve. And that contract of 3 years, just under $11 million, that's kind of right in the range of you're paying good money for a special teamers, low-end money for a starter. So if he does give you some starting run, even if it's just part-time starter, that's really good value. If he's an elite specialist and doesn't start much, it's still pretty good value as well. So anything he gives you at safety is kind of a bonus for this team. I think it's a good move. I like what San Francisco's doing. Obviously, Chase, the big move elsewhere in the secondary came with Charvarius Ward. That's going to be the big splash signing of free agency, but you add Ward with all these minor moves, I think you're getting some good depth on this roster.
No, I agree, and included in that depth is a guy who we talked about in Charvarius Ward. Harrison, you cover the Kansas City Chiefs here at Chat Sports, and this is an emerging player who I really like his confidence. I like his swagger. I like the way that he approaches the game of football. I love his fearlessness, and I love the mental makeup. He really had a great year this past year with KC and was arguably their best cornerback.
Yep.
But in Week 17, he got burnt. He got toasted by Jamar Chase, and he didn't play well. Then he comes back in the AFC Championship game, defends Jamar Chase really well as T. Higgins. So the makings of the secondary, Jimmy Ward, outstanding safety. And on this entire defense, like you're looking at a defense that has premier talent, but also depth pieces as well. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead. We'll see what the opposite edge rusher is going to be at that linebacker spot. I think it's the best linebacking core in the NFL with Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shire, who's coming back. He tweeted that out, as well as Dre Greenlaw. Then in that secondary, Ward, Mosley, and as well as Jimmy Ward, as the Ward 1-2 punch is going to be alive and well in the Bay. Everybody's been frustrated at the Niners not making a monster splash, but some of these types of moves on the peripheries, on the outer edges of that roster, important for these Super Bowl contenders. And I think Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, the moves to come, which are going to be those big splashes. Make sure you subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports, because ever since I took over after the NFL draft in April, we have been growing like crazy. Live shows every single week. Mailbags where we answer all of your 49ers news and rumors questions. When breaking news happens, we have you covered faster than anybody else. Daily videos covering San Fran, Cisco, and we're red and gold till we're dead and cold.
By the way, I wanted to just propose this to you, but shifting off of the secondary here. Could the 49ers get in on Robert Woods? Because there's been some chatter that they would like to add another receiver, especially on the outside. Good wide receiver 2 type. You put him opposite of Deebo Samuel. This is pretty intriguing. Maybe you throw Brandon Ayuk in the slot, or Samuel plays more slot because he can bounce around. Apparently, he's available via trade. Now, obviously, it's interdivision. Yeah. So it's a long shot, but what if the Niners make the best offer? It's happened before, interdivision trades. It's just worth kind of speculating as San Francisco continues to scour the market.
The funniest thing about these NFL rumors, people will say, oh, it's never going to happen. This is a crazy rumor. Look at everything that's transpired throughout the offseason so far. Did anybody expect the Russell Wilson trade to go down? Tom Brady to come out of retirement? The Washington Commanders are betting on Carson Wentz. Deshaun Watson was cleared legally. These things can happen, and an interdivision trade can happen. Now, do I think the Rams are going to trade away Robert Woods to the Niners? I don't know. And he's making a lot of money, and I don't think the Niners will be able to afford a player like that. Do they need to sign a wide receiver? Yes, but I think it's more in the form of a Juju Smith-Schuster, a Jarvis Landry, a Julio Jones type, because Kyle Shanahan absolutely loves him.
Yep.
Robert Woods is making decent money. I think it's a good value deal. I just don't know if San Francisco can afford him. Should the 49ers trade for Robert Woods, a very good wide receiver and a premier talent? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Once again, Niner Gang, let us know in the comments section right now. Also, give us a follow on Rumble. We're growing to the platforms that you as the people use. That includes Rumble. Rumble.com/49ers TV. If you want more 49ers videos and exclusive content, we go live and do videos over there. It's rumble.com/49ers TV. That link in the comment section and the description of this video.